Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So today I'm here with Deidre. A while ago, I got I guess you would say it's a request. Well, I made a video and I said if you guys want to see how I wash hair at my house, let me know. And a lot of you guys said you were interested, so here is that video. So this is my little setup. So my setup is literally my kitchen sink, because you gotta do what you gotta do. The kitchen sink is the only sink in the house that has a hose. So this is my shampoo tray. I bought this on eBay. I don't know where else you could get them. I'm sure Amazon and everything too. But this is the main thing that you want if you are working as a traveling hairstylist or a home hairstylist and you don't have an actual shampoo bowl. This is a lifesaver. Alright, so excuse the angle. I lost my good tripod, so I'm using this kind of makeshift one. So the camera has to be all the way over there, but you guys will get the point. I'm putting these gloves on because sometimes her hair, the color I use, bleeds. I use Joico color and that bleeds for a while. So just to protect my fabulous nails, which she does for me, here's a close-up. Always gotta show off the nails. This is my nail tech. Yes. The best of the best. And the green glows in the dark. Just saying, just saying. I love it. Alright, so all I do, I just put a towel behind her so she doesn't get wet, just to keep her extra protected. And then this little string here is what your client is going to hold on to keep the tray against their neck. So that's the one downside, is that they have to actually hold it against themselves, but it's the best I can do. Alright, so the first thing I always do is make sure the water temperature is good. So I always ask my client how she feels. And is the water temperature good? And it takes a while because she has really thick hair, so she'll feel it in a second. Okay. So again, I have a makeshift tripod. It's not working too well, so you guys can't really see the top of her head, but I always use my hand to block the water from falling in her face. Oh, that's good, because I can see this side of your head. I'll pull her ear out of the way and get all the way back there. Move the hair around so that the water gets everywhere in her scalp. And as you can see, her hair is natural. It's starting to curl up. It was just flat iron, but she is 100% natural. So this is the first shampoo I use. I love this shampoo. It's a clarifying shampoo. It has a very minty, cooling sensation, so a lot of my clients love it. And if they happen to have allergies or a stuffy nose or anything, it'll clear that right up. I always open the hair a little bit to make sure that it goes directly on the scalp, because her hair, again, it's really thick. So if I just put it on top, it's not going to get where it needs to go. And the first wash is probably not going to lather at all. You usually don't get a lot of suds in the first wash, but don't worry, it's still working. And then just start shampooing. Scrubbing. So always make sure you're getting up under the hair, not on top of it, because you want to be more focused on the scalp than her actual hair. The second wash would get the hair when we get all the suds and everything. But the scalp is where all the buildup usually is. And make sure if you have a new client, you always ask them first if you're using too much pressure, because not everyone likes a lot of pressure. I mean, you need some amount of pressure, obviously, to get all the dirt off of the scalp, but always make sure that they're comfortable. And a lot of clients love scrubbing and would ask you to use your nails. Using your nails is actually not good because it'll scratch and, irritate the scalp. So what I do is I use the tops of my hands like this, and they feel my nails against it, but they're not feeling the blade of your nail, if that makes sense. So it feels just as, relieving, just as good as having nails, but it's not scratching your scalp and irritating the way that your nails actually would. I hope that made sense. And once I feel like I got everywhere, pick up all the hair again to make sure it's over the tray. Have her lay back down and rinse. And once the water starts running clear, which you can't really see from this angle, but I always make sure there's no more suds or bubbles or like, you know how sometimes water can look a little bit oily, like you see the oil on the surface of the water? Once you don't see that anymore, you know that it's clear of all the shampoo, and we can move on to our second wash. So I always use a moisturizing shampoo for the second wash, well, most of the time depending on your client, but this is the moisture wash that I'm using for her second wash. It is Joy Cool's Moisture Recovery. I have the conditioner for this as well, but I left it at my client's house, so I don't have it, so I have a different one for today. I'm actually going back to her house tomorrow, so I'll get that again. And what I do sometimes is I will still mix a little bit of the clarifying shampoo with that second wash if it's necessary. So I'll do it today just because it's been a while since I washed her hair. And just because I just like how the clarifying shampoo works. But I'm more focused on using the moisture shampoo. And as you'll see with this wash, it lathers right away. The second wash is usually where you get all the suds, and that's when we'll get all of her hair clean, not just the scalp. But still, you want to start at the scalp because that's where the main focus is. So right now I'm just speeding up this whole process because I realize you guys can't really see much of what I'm doing anyway, because like I mentioned a million times, I didn't have a tripod, I couldn't find mine, and I didn't have anybody available to record this video for me. So you guys aren't able to see all the angles. So I'm going to make another video and I'll just do this on a mannequin head in case you guys are interested in seeing my actual hand movements and which spots of the head I'm hitting and all that stuff. So I'll do that in a separate video, but as for this video, it's just going to be basically my routine for washing and conditioning my client's hair. Okay, so I'm just going to do a voiceover for now because as we were down here, we had music playing on the TV, so I didn't want to talk into the camera while that was going on. So anyway, we came down to do a deep conditioner, and this is the mask that I'm using. It's called My Black is Beautiful. That's the brand name, and it's the restorative mask. So right now her hair is just washed and towel dried. I didn't put any actual conditioner in it. I just go straight to doing the mask. So what I do first is just put it on the ends of her hair, mainly just to help the hair separate a little bit easier. And then I'm going to break her hair into smaller sections and then apply the mask to the hair from the roots to the ends. I like taking the smaller sections because that way you really know that every strand of hair got some equal attention. So when I apply it to the sections, I always take a wide tooth comb and I start to comb it through just to help equally distribute it. But because the mask is usually a lot stiffer than your average conditioner, it's not as slippery or as oily, I guess. It doesn't comb through as easily, so I do the best that I can, but I don't really force the comb through the hair because I don't want it to break. So I just comb out whatever I can. So I'm just lightly brushing the hair with the comb basically, but just making sure that the mask gets everywhere. So as highly moisturizing as masks and deep conditioners are, I always like to run conditioner through the hair after I rinse out the mask just to get the hair to be a little bit more manageable because the mask does make the hair a little bit stiffer, as you can probably tell as I'm trying to comb this mask through right now. So yeah, this is basically the entire process of applying the mask. So I just go through section by section until I get the entire head covered. And then again, I comb through whatever I can. And then finally, I'm going to clip the hair up, but I'm going to do it very loosely just because I still want the heat to be able to get through all of the hair. And if it's too tight, then you really only get the surface covered by the heat, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put on this processing cap over her head because that keeps the hair from drying out and it also helps keep the heat inside the head. And then I give her these air protectors, these air covers. I don't know the actual official name for them, but it basically protects your ears from burning as you're underneath the hood dryer. And then I roll over my dryer and I just leave her under there for about 15 to 20 minutes and just let that mask marinate until it's time to rinse it out. Alright, so now it's time for conditioner. Here's the conditioner I'm using. It's also Joico, but this one's a volumizing conditioner, which she doesn't need because she has so much volume. But like I said, my other conditioner's at my client's house, so it's gonna have to do for today. And for me, since conditioner's supposed to sit in for a few minutes, I like to make it a relaxing experience. So I like to massage it in. So I'm gonna try and show you guys what I do, but again, I don't have the best camera angle, so if anything, if I'm editing this and you can't see it, I'll do it on a mannequin. But basically, you just try and grab as much of the head as possible. You want to cover as much as you can at once, and you're just gonna, your fingers are gonna go in slight circles, like they're gonna open and close. You're not really scrubbing the head because right now we're focused on the muscle, not the skin, so you want to get underneath. So you just get a firm grip on it and you just open and close your fingers basically. And you're going to slowly make your way from the back of the head to the top of the head to the front, sides, and then back to the back. And one of the main things when you're massaging is you never want to leave your client and come back. And by that I mean you always want at least one hand on the head the entire time. When you release and then come back, it can startle the client a little bit. So you always want to make sure at least one hand is on. So if you need to switch positions, take one hand off, move, and then the other hand and move. So there's always constant movement and stimulation. So I like to focus on, I don't know what they're called, but it's those two balls in the back of your head. I like to put pressure there. Then you move behind the ear and slowly move up and then back down because there's a pressure point there that can relax your client. And then from there, move up to the temples. And then get the rest of your fingers engaged again, more towards the top of your head. And then now we're completely focused on the top of the head. Hopefully you guys can see this all, or you guys are understanding. And basically when I'm massaging, I pretty much just do what I know would feel good for me. And again, if it's a new client, always ask if the pressure's okay. Because you want firm pressure, not too hard, but not so light that it's tickling and uncomfortable. So always make sure the client is comfortable. And then, unlike what I'm doing right now, you don't talk through the whole service unless they're talking to you. Let them relax. But poor Deidre's the subject of my video right now, so she has to hear me talk. So I have an order that I follow when I'm massaging, but you can make up your own routine. All I know is that whenever I'm getting close to the end and I'm about to start washing it out, I'll just start moving my hands backwards, kind of like untangling the hair a little bit as I do so, and then the client kind of knows that, okay, this is coming to an end. So again, you don't just startle them by turning the water on. But I'm going to keep going so Deidre can get her massage. So the washing and conditioning routine is pretty much completed, and that was basically all that this video was about. But I decided to keep the camera rolling anyway, just in case you guys are interested in watching me style her hair. So all that she got done was a blowout on a silk press. So if you guys are interested in watching an extremely sped up version of me doing that, then feel free to keep on watching. But if not, thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!